Yo, what's good, you guys? So I'm watching YouTube, mad bored, and come across this Ask Reddit shit. Dude, this shit was so fucking hilarious. It's actually not even funny. Of course, my phone's ringing like right at 10 o'clock. Sick. Um, yeah. So it's actually 10:30. So y'all, we're gonna finish this video and then watch another Reddit video. It's called Ask Reddit. This shit is hilarious, bruh. Hold on. Here it is. Bro, watch this shit right here. It's called What's the Biggest Hint You've Missed from a Girl? Ask Reddit.
That it could actually happen. Went on a date with a girl and she asked if I wanted to come back to hers and stay over. I thought it was perfect as I had work in the morning and she lived right around the corner. I literally got into her bed, said goodnight, turned over and went to sleep. Something reminded me of that night and the penny dropped. What a f***ing idiot. So you used her as a sex lesson keeper. You do what you gotta do to restore your HP and spells, dude. Invited me over to watch a movie as the parents were out that night. I chose to go to my rec soccer game. I chose to go to a bonfire with friends. Edit, does that make us Eskimo brothers? Which is at least a good bonfire. We lost that soccer game. None of my decision was worth it. Edit responds, you're damn right it does. I was 17. It was the year 2007. Smartphones were coming out. Blu-ray was the hype. You could get an amazing mortgage from Washington Mutual. Deal or no deal swept the country as Rihanna invited us to stand under her umbrella. A former co-worker of mine from a pretzel store in the mall invited me over to her house to watch a movie on a Saturday night.
Oh shit.
I always found her cute and I liked her, so I figured, why not? And ditched my friends to see her. Anyway, I got to her house.
Unfortunate.
It made sense, since she had 6 siblings and her parents.
A mansion? Damn. A co-worker of yours from a pretzel store, but she has parents have a beautiful big mansion. It must be the kind of girl where they make her like work a job even though they're filthy fucking rich. Okay.
Living there. We also lived in an upper middle class town. There were no vehicles on her driveway and all the lights were off, except for one. I knocked on the door and she answered, wearing those soft shorts and tight tank top. She explained that her family was on vacation about 800 miles away, but she had to stay behind. Because we took the scholastic assessment test that day, she invited me upstairs to her room, where she only had a bed and a TV. I'm wondering why we didn't go to the family room, where she had one of those awesome LCD TVs. She offered me a drink, and I said no. She told me to lay in bed with her as we watched The Guardian. Then I watched The Guardian. Then
Okay.
the movie ended.
Right.
Then I said goodnight and drove back home.
Wow. A moment of silence for him. Alright.
Again, dude. Piercing. Horrendous pain across my body.
Horrendous pain across my body. He felt that shit. Like, what the hell is wrong with me? What is actually wrong with him? He figured it out after the fact. Of course, it's always after the fact. And when you do some dumb shit.
For coffee after a date, I replied with something very similar to, no thanks, I don't like coffee, it keeps me up. It wasn't until I was watching Seinfeld later that I realized I have the dating skills of George Costanza. Luke. Sweet Christmas. Had a girl I was dating in high school. We were macking on my bed and I started kissing her neck. She says stop, that makes me horny, but in a playful way. Youngs to me was like whoa, no rape from I. Whoa, no rape from I. That's fantastic. Honestly made me laugh more than I probably should have. Whoa, no rape from I. Yoda is that good? It is. You may.
Yo.
But it do. I'm not going
Whoa,
to rape
no
you on
rape.
the off chance that you're into that shit. Louis C.K. Got a late night tech support call from an acquaintance. Went over fixed the computer. Thanked her for the call, cause it was an interesting issue and left. Found out about a week later. It was a booty call. The girl was so baffled by my reaction she never tried again.
Wow. Okay, got a late night tech support call from an acquaintance. Went over, fixed the computer, thanked her for the call because it was an interesting issue, and left. For about a week, found out about a week later it was a booty call. The girl was so baffled by my reaction she never tried again. Yikes.
She called you for a tech problem. You fixed the problem.
What else are you supposed to do?
You can imagine what happens next. The dude, he fixes the cable. You can't masquerade sexy time with a real problem that needs fixing. How is anybody supposed to understand the intention of that? This lets me share my favorite story. I had been dating this girl for a little over a month, and we were at her house kissing on her couch. It should be noted that I was in my mid-20s, as was she, at this time. After the kissing, we got to talking, and she talked about juggling, which I could do, and magic, which at the time I couldn't. So I said the only magic trick I know is taking off a bra one-handed.
Yeah.
She said no you can't.
Prove it. Right.
So
Okay.
I unhooked her bra with one hand, and she was considerably
Wow.
impressed. I offered to help her hook it back on, and she said nah, and took it off from under her shirt. After
Wow.
that, we kissed a little more, talked a little more, and I went home. About 2 weeks later was when I had the realization. I was with her at the time, and I was like, oh shit, you wanted me to grab your boob the other week when I undid your bra, didn't you? And she just laughed and said I wondered if you'd ever put that together. At this point, we had crossed the boob touching barrier. If memory serves, she literally grabbed my hand and put it there. I'm not a smart man. Subscribe my guy to the only man on YouTube.
Alright. Okay. What are we gonna watch next? Let's see. Okay, what was your cringiest sexual experience? We'll watch this from Reddit, and then that'll be the video.
Sexual experience. Went home with a Tinder date, kissed and got naked, and threw up in her bed before we could get going.
Yeah.
The thread just keeps getting worse.
Yeah.
Dated this girl sophomore year of college. I was getting ready to go down on her when I noticed my biology lab safety goggles were right next to me. I couldn't resist, so I put them on and said safety first. She swooned. Cringy? Maybe. Worth? For sure.
Safety first, bro.
The first time I felt up a girl, it was in a dark movie theater. It was of course lower than expected, and I just kept reaching lower and lower. When I finally felt the clit, I said, "That's your clit," in an excited 14-year-old.
It was of course lower than expected, and I just kept reaching it. That's your clit? Wow. Wow.
Voice, loudly. During the movie, she just whispered yet quietly. I was getting a BJ while laying on my back. When I said I was about to come, she let go of my dong, causing me to shoot nut on my own face. The good old nut on the face
trick that females love to do. Interesting.
I dated a 25-year-old
Unfortunate.
who set up an elaborate dinner with friends to gain their approval of me before she would attempt to have sex. I was invited to dinner with her friends but didn't know that it was a setup. She later told me when we were more comfortable. I arrive at her house to have dinner and see her and her friends on the floor in candlelight. While we are eating, I notice my ex making hard eye contact with each friend. After they would do that, the friend would leave. After all friends left, it was clear she wanted to lose her virginity. She approached me aggressively, made out with me for 30 minutes, then takes off her shirt and bra. She gets on her knees topless and uncomfortable and crawls between my legs as I sit on her couch. She goes to unbutton my jeans, but stops and immediately starts hysterically crying. She spent the rest of the night venting, and I spent it consoling her. I felt really bad for her but was also a bit creeped out by this. The committee has approved intercourse. Prepare your genitals. Wait a few days before having a BJ. I was getting my first BJ from my girlfriend at the time, and she was a bit goth and moody and crap. I didn't know she was into pain play too. Found out when she bit down really hard as I was pulling out and dragged her incisors on my willy and ripped it up. She was way too into it and started licking up the blood. I had the most confused orgasm I have ever had in my life.
Woo! Okay.
I had a lot of pain and cried for about 15 minutes, so she tried to bandage it up and told me to suck it up. It isn't that bad. She explained that she believed she was a vampire. I told her that I believed she was my ex as well. Dropped her back off at school and never talked to her again. Always get to know them first. Always.
Right.
I fell asleep masturbating. My brother walked in, laughed at the sight of me holding my willy with
Yo, man's was asleep with his wong in his hand, bruh. I said wong. Anyways, wand. Okay, his dick was in his hand, like a bum ass loser, and your own brother, and then he's good.
My parents came to see what he was laughing at. They laughed too.
Wow, your parents are assholes.
At me, and I was so embarrassed that I immediately got dressed and left the house for a few hours. My dad told my grandparents and promised to tell everyone at my wedding. I'm sorry for you, but I'm laughing at you too. Met a Tinder date at her place. Surprise. She has 2 young children of which I was unaware.
Right.
It's really weird for me, but it's just a dinner thing, not a hookup. I thought, this woman is being aggressively sexual while shooing her kids away every day. Obviously, it makes it clear she wants me to stay the night.
She kept shooing her children away.
So she goes to put her kids to sleep. So far it's been uncomfortable but not a deal breaker. Then one of her kids calls me daddy. I'm in my early 20s. I freaked the frick out, made an excuse, and left. Yeah, can't blame you.
Nah, can't either.
My second blowy ever. I was dating this girl and I went to her house to hang out. We were in the basement watching a movie with her brother. We were on a couch behind him, and I started feeling her up. Her brother went upstairs for a few and I got my first blow. She was awesome. She was great at it. Brother comes back and we start messing around some more. Mostly just feeling on each other. We tell him we are gonna go walk around for a little while. We secretly go into a walk-in closet adjacent to the basement and she starts working on my D again. This one takes forever because it was uncomfortable in there and I had just came like 15-20 minutes prior to this blowy. Maybe 45 minutes to an hour go by. God bless her. She was a real freaking trooper. And her mom starts looking for us. She sees the light on in the closet but we quickly turn it off. Her mom knocks and asks if we are in there, and my ex's dumbass responds, yeah, keep in mind I took my pants and underwear off, and I've gotta get them back on quickly in the fricking dark. She walks out and there I am behind her, holding my pants up that were undone and on fricking backwards. Dating her was pretty wild. Her mom starts looking for us. She sees the light on in the closet but we quickly turn it off. Oh, problem solved. Came after making out for a few minutes, all clothes on. When I was in high school, this happened to the guy I was dating at the time. He was mortified and tried to hide it, but I knew. It's just a bodily function. No big deal. I felt—
Wait. Came after making out for a few minutes. Oh, close. Oh, okay.
And I was so embarrassed. I was at a party with my then ex-GF in high school. Both of us are pretty drunk and she wants to have sex, so we go to the upstairs bathroom, lock the door, and turn off the lights. I lie on the floor, no condom, and she proceeds to ride me. I have narcolepsy, so I tend to fall asleep at inappropriate times.
Yo.
One of those times, I fell asleep for who knows how long. I wake up to the sudden urge to come. I yell, get off, push her off me. She hits her head on the counter, and I come all over myself. Sad moment. Strong pull-out game though. My boyfriend at the time pulled out and came, shooting past me over the edge of the bed about 3 feet, directly onto the face of my mom in the picture I had on my mini fridge.
Oh. I thought it was on the face of the mom that when her mother walked in, and that shit happened. Oh my god. Oh my days. On the face of my mom in the picture I had on my mini fridge, way in the back, like way over there.
Sorry, but I would have been proud of that performance. My first and last Tinder date, circa 2014. To be honest, I'm not even sure if this counts as sexual. Met her at a bar. She's cute and kind of awkward and dorky, which I like. We have nice but very light conversation. Nothing went very deep before the subject was changed. I see it's not really going anywhere and we don't have much chemistry. After a while or so I pay for drinks and go to say goodnight, and she asks me back to her place. I guess. Then she asks me, in all seriousness, if I'm planning on killing her. UNFIT. I explained to her that I am not. Although that was weird, I still follow her back to her house. We sit in her living room drinking red wine and listening to indie music.
if she says if I'm planning on killing her, if wow, I think that's the moment where you get out of there, my brother. I think that's the moment right there. I think she's crazy. I think she's a masochist. I think she wants you to kill her. I think you get out at all costs. I'm scared for you. What the hell are you doing? That's dumb.
It's kind of nice, and we get cuddly. She then mentioned she has a flight early in the morning for a family vacation with her parents and siblings, which I take as a hint. She then spills a huge glass of red wine on her white carpet and spends the next 20 minutes frantically trying to clean it up. It leaves a decent stain. I'm ready to leave at this point, but she apologizes and asks me to stay the night. My instincts were screaming no, but my curiosity said we'd got to see where this goes.
Okay.
Go to her room and get in her bed.
Alright, might as well go all the way, idiot.
And turns off the light. I'm so confused at this point, I just lay there in the dark like WTF even is this? She then says I'm sorry we're not having sex. I feel
Woo! See? That's why you get out. From the moment on the top of the screen, if I'm planning on killing her, that's when you leave. You're not getting no nothing, bro. Alright? That's when you leave, because she's obviously crazy, but you know, it's cool. It's cool. No, it's not cool. It's actually not cool. You should have left.
I'm leading you on. I'd give you a blowy, but I don't want to be sick for my trip. What does that even mean? I go, yeah, it's okay, and now start planning my escape.
Okay. Too little, too late.
She starts running her fingers through my hair. I'm okay.
As I lay there in silence.
Keeps doing it, but now starts whispering Barbie, over and over as she does it. I finally nope the frick out and say the wine made me feel bad and I had to leave. It took me a good week to feel normal again after that. It was like some American Horror Story crap.
Facts.
Because it would be awkward if both of you tried.
You see, I kept talking about that particular part because that's how fucking weird that is. Okay? God.
Mom asked me to talk dirty to her while we were doing the deed. I panicked and said in the sternest voice I could muster, I'm going to have sex with you. First time I signed up on OKC, I immediately got messaged by this chick who said hi.
OKC, that's my team. What the fuck? What is that? Okay, Cupid. Okay, I'm an idiot.
My name is Sarah, and I smell horrible. I didn't believe her, but she really smelled bad. She gave me a BJ in my dad's basement and I never saw her again.
I'm sorry for everyone's ears. My name is Sarah and I smell horrible. Wow.
What the frick? Maybe banging a girl on top of raw insulation? I sure was cringing afterwards. The first one that's actually made me physically cringe. What the frick were you thinking? The night I lost my virginity, we waited missionary for 45 minutes. I had to be home for curfew. He didn't finish, and cried while walking me to my car. Now, he's out and proud.
Yeah, facts.
Told me the key factor to make a woman
Facts.
feel good is being funny. I came home with a girl in the middle of the night. On the way to my bedroom, I told her you're going to walk funny tomorrow. She's giggling and asks me the obvious, why are you so big? After which I locked the door and said the sarcastic, no, I'm going to cut off your legs. She started crying. Kind of ruined the moment. That went from sexy to serial killer in no time flat.
Yeah, what the fuck is wrong with his dumb ass?
Weird upgrade. It just didn't work out. Had a girlfriend that wanted to do butt stuff. She was pretty adamant, so we tried for a bit. Lubed up real good and did a lot of butt play. When we finally got around to the beat, her butt tore a little and she was bleeding on me. I pulled it, but she wanted to keep going. I had to tap out cause blood isn't sexy to me. She thought I was being rude. I couldn't win.
Yeah, you said I couldn't win. Yeah, that's you sign up for something like that, my brother. I don't know what to tell you because it's not gonna end good for you, my mans. Especially you didn't expect that, but God.
Jerked it like 20 times in a row that morning before leaving to
What the hell?
She later snuck me in her parents' house to spend the night, and things got hot and heavy. My soldier refused to answer the call. Got a handy in a movie theater when I was in the 10th grade. It lasted over 2 hours and I had a bloody willy by the end of it.
Oh.
That is that long and that romantic is Titanic. My ex called me a League of Legends character's name when I was giving him head. The character in question is Ari. Your BF has a Finnish name lover named Ari and is a quick thinker. I was drunk one time and a male friend of mine, I'm a straight guy, convinced me that I didn't know if I would like having my willy eaten by a dude until I tried it. So
What the fuck?
The entire time. Then he convinced me to let him try licking my butt.
You know, gay people, I have no problems. Be who you are. Live your best life. Both of these dudes were gay. Okay. If you're down to exploring that, that's on you. Enjoy yourself. But your friend doesn't just ask you, bro, you probably don't even know if you're gay. Let me suck you off, and so let's both find out. Bro, that's not how that works. They probably had a thing for each other before all of that, okay? I'm just letting y'all know.
So I also did. I'm not even mad because his logic is irrefutable. There's still time to call this dude back and say no homo.
Facts!
One time I got my balls stuck in a Gatorade bottle.
Unfortunate.
Back in college this girl came over to my dorm to Netflix and chill. It was going well and we had plenty of snacks to eat. After a while things start to get a little frisky and I slide down to eat her out. She's having a good time. I'm having a good time. Everything's going great.
So she didn't stink.
Stupid freaking mouth comes the words. You taste like potato chips. We're both just stunned for a second at how I could say something so stupid. She buries her face in her hands and goes, oh my god, that is such a turn off. She's about to get off me, so the only thing I can think to do is to shove my tongue back in her. Surprisingly, it worked. The night I knew that's all either of us were really thinking about. This is how I learned to keep my mouth shut during shagging.
Yo, that was a good one. Shut the fuck up. When you're in affairs, if you're not a good talker, don't say shit. Just look pretty and do your thing. Fuck.
Agreed to go short in the shower with a random hookup. She comes over, doesn't want to have a shower. I proceed to shower with her in the bathroom the whole time. I'm confused as to why, after she refused the shower, you still proceeded with the solo shower. The first time I had sex she took a condom out and went to put it on me, but she played with me for a little bit first. I had never had a condom on before, so wasn't sure if she had slid it on or not yet, and we just laid there awkwardly for a minute and I lost my boner and she thought I didn't like her. Right in the middle of freaking my then girlfriend. I think it's the perfect time to say in response to someone telling me she used to frick some random guy I met at a recent party while I was fricking her. What in holy crow was I doing? Why would I say that? Needless to say, it ruined the entire night at that exact moment. BF and I had just finished on the couch one afternoon when he gets up to pull some dinner rolls out of the oven. I hear him say OWW frick and rush in to see what happened. Turns out he burned the underside of the tip of his willy on the oven door when pulling dinner. I should have been more caring, but I burst out laughing. He was out of commission for about 3 days after that. Oh my gosh. Haha. Never cook with your willy out.
Oh god.
I ended up getting back in touch with a female friend from high school. She kinda messaged me out of the blue randomly, but whatever. I haven't talked to her since we graduated together about 3 years ago, so I figured it would be cool to catch up. Eventually one day she asked if I wanted to hang at her apartment after I get off work. I was like, sure, why not? So after work I show up and she asks what movie I wanna watch. I go through her movies and we decide on one. We get into random convos about where we are in life and crap like that. I had just started going to the gym, so I told her I was still sore from yesterday's workout. She told me to take my shirt off so she could give me a massage. I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know if this is going somewhere, but even if it's not, my body is still sore and needs a massage, so why not? So I get half nude as she requests and she gave me the massage. One thing is we eventually had sex. Here's the kicker. Immediately
Nice.
afterwards she pulls out her phone and opens the notes app. There's a giant list of names on the list and she's typing. I'm like, oh, what's that? And she was straight up and said, oh, so I'm trying to have sex with each letter of the alphabet. I didn't have a T in my list yet, so now I can finally add a T. About an hour after all of this she was like, yeah, well, I gotta be up early tomorrow, so I'm gonna have to kick you out. I wasn't mad or disappointed. Still had sex, but I still feel that was awkward as frick. She never messaged me again after that either. If it was that good, change your name to Z or X and call her up. After sex I once put on Wallace's voice and said cracking sex grommet. It still makes me cringe to this day.
Wait, what? Cracking sex grommet.
Was once hanging out with a friend who was a fellow Beavis and Butthead fan, and we had watched a bunch of episodes earlier in the evening before getting snuggly and one thing leading to another.
Right.
My then partner rolled over and said, hey Beavis, we just scored. Haha, in a perfect Butthead voice. We laughed like cartoon idiots for ages after that. It was amazing. Right in the middle she gets down on all four and demands to get spanked. Dumbfounded I ask why, and she, completely serious and a bit teary, says because man is born in sin and deserves to be punished. My girlfriend wanted to try roleplay and tried to do the whole bad secretary, is there any way I can keep my job scenario. So she started off with I'm sorry I was late to work, and me being the idiot that I am responded with that sucks. She then proceeded to laugh hysterically at me for the next 10 minutes. Well Janet, this is the third time this month. Unfortunately we are going to have to let you go. Here is a box. Security will escort you out of the building. Don't hesitate to use me as a reference. You were a solid employee with a small tardiness problem. First time, my boyfriend called me his ex's name, then lost his boner from guilt. We ended up just watching a movie, 0/10. Once while my boyfriend was eating me out, I felt things get suddenly much more wet downstairs. I sit up a little, he pulls away to see what's wrong, and blood is gushing from his nostrils. He looks down at my now gore-covered cooch and flips his crap thinking he broke me or something, asking if I'm okay and if he accidentally bit me. I calm him down and tell him he has a nosebleed and we go get cleaned up. He was just dehydrated. Spent the rest of the night cuddling and sipping water and we laugh about it today. All this is
That's crazy. The wholesome cringe.
1.232 millennials. Subscribe to that dude Reddit in 14 seconds and you'll have good cholesterol again.
Alright, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate you guys and see you in the next one. I'm out. Peace. I don't do those. Yeah.